Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I want to do some summer coasters and I thought I'm using the Scallop Mold. I have here my first color and it's the resin ink from Octopus Swimming Pool. Then I have the Smurf, very beautiful colors. There you go. Then I thought I'm using an interference color and this is interference green. I think it's from Temu and Petra from Petra's Bunte Glitzerwelt, she was ordering this for me. And there is the pigment drops from Etta Art. The pigment drops I mixed up very opaque. And here I have some of the metal sheets. There are some, just the foil, just in different colors, like a bluish, a greenish, and a silver. And a few glass stones. So I'm just making sure I give my resin a final stir and I'm getting rid of the sticks and then I can start pouring. Because I'm pouring in 4 coasters, I really didn't measure, so I'm sorry. The only thing I can tell you what is with the seashell technique, which I will be using, very important that your white is rather opaque. So you can say by round about 10 grams, it's probably 2 drops of the pigment drops, but I used far more than only 10 grams, as you can imagine. So, and as you know, with the seashell technique, I'm pouring from the bottom of the mold and I just let my resin flow. I'm starting with the swimming pool from Octopus Fluids. And actually, I was hoping that I poured enough resin, but sometimes you don't know because I haven't poured in these scallop coasters for quite a while. I have this mold already, I think, 3 or 4 years, and it's amazing. I love working with this mold, and especially in summer, it gives you such beautiful summer vibes. And because I changed jobs, I changed jobs again, and I have a nice colleague, I thought I pour us some nice coasters and we can have them on our desk. So that's the idea behind it. So my next color here is the interference green. And I mixed it not too opaque, but also not too little. So it's, I would say, semi-opaque. So not too much, but also not too little. I just want to have the nice sheen of this color in my resin piece. Now I'm taking some white, as you can see, and I'm pouring also from the bottom of the mold. Let my resin flow. And like I said, with the seashell technique, I'm always hoping to achieve some nice patterns. So this is practically my first row done. And now I'm continuing with the more bluish color, the Smurf, and this is a beautiful blue tone. I really, really love the shade. So I'm also doing the same thing. And what I love about this technique, you can really see how the crackle effect is starting from the bottom and it's floating like a seashell. And that's why Sandra Rettich and myself called it the seashell technique. And when you use this technique in a deeper mold that has a little bit a shape like a seashell, it gives even more defined pattern, I think. I did it so many times, but I also love pouring this in the shallow molds. So now I have my interference green again. And look at the colors, they're already looking very summery. And there you see, I didn't mix up enough for the green, so I need to make sure I mix some more. So I'm adding a little bit of green into the cup, into the clear resin, and I'm not sure if I'm going to show you how much I put in there. I guess I didn't. Well, you can only see a little bit, but I needed to hurry up a little bit as well, and I'm just stirring till my powder is really dissolved. Some people put alcohol then in there, but with some techniques, I'm not putting alcohol towards my mica powder because it gives a different result for the pour. And you see, I mixed this part maybe a little bit stronger than the other part, but maybe it's also looking like this because with the other first push, the resin was already working. I don't know, but you cannot mix 100% the same thing. So anyway, I think it won't disturb the whole design. So this is my green done. Again, the white. And I'm pouring also from the edge. And I see that my mold is getting rather full, but I still have some space for my final clear push. And with the last coaster, the last two, the mold is not as full as with the others. It's always the same. When you pour the first two coasters, you have much more resin in there. So I guess my pushes for the last two coasters will be even more clear resin. I'm not sure, but we will see. I am not sure if I told you what resin I've used. I've used the Ultra Cast resin for this pour, and I think it's perfect. I let the resin sit most of the times for around about 20 minutes till half an hour, because the Ultra Cast resin has a working time of 1 hour. But because it was so warm, I was only letting it sit for 15 minutes, so not as long as I normally would do. And you can see with the last two coasters, I'm really pushing more clear resin on top. And I think with the very last coaster here, I need to push even more. It will have a little bit of an effect on the result, I guess, but only ever so slightly. You will see later. So I'm just making sure I'm using the resin which is still in my cup, and till my mold is really full, so I don't need to do any trimming at the edges at the end. And yeah, I also wanted to be quite, in brackets, perfect, because I was taking this with me to work, to my colleague, and I wanted to let her see that I can really do this resin art. You know, it doesn't make sense when you do something too quickly. It doesn't look good, and then you appear with something like this. And no, I wanted to have it as perfect as I can. So now I have here my mixture, and I only put just ever so slightly in there. I didn't want to put too much in there this time, only as a little highlight, that it might look like a little pearl, but of course it's not a pearl, it's a glitter mix. But you know, you have this little rounding in the Molds and Shapes design of the scallop mold, and therefore I'm adding only at that piece, or at that bit, my mixture. And do you already see how the resin is working? Anyway, I couldn't make a time lapse this time, so I'm very sorry about it, but you can see how the resin was working and what nice pattern it makes on that side. Actually, this is something I might consider as well, to make another pour, so you can use the coasters on both sides, because I love this side as well. And if you struggle with the wave technique, it's a pattern like a wave. So yeah, these were my leftovers. I just dripped it all in. And okay, there are too much stones in the center, but it's quite cute. So I thought just use the little feature in the center. And yeah, it's a nice key ring, I think. Very, very nice. Only a few stones too much, but see how the backside is looking. And now look at this. I love this. I love this, you know, like where you have the bows, you have a different crackle effect, and then you have the other crackle effect. The colors got mixed, but on some parts you can see the Smurf a little bit more shining through. On other parts you can see more the swimming pool, and this is what I like. So here as well, and it's a very similar pattern, and you can see how how different all the crackles are and how they appear from basically nothing, and then you have the crackle effect. Really like this. I love really that in the bows that you have a different pattern. That's also very beautiful. And with the last two coasters you can see that the bows, that the pattern is thinner than with the first two, and I think this is because I did more clear resin in my final push. But anyway, I think they are still looking good. And now I have to apologize. You know, my boyfriend was trying to tape that I wanted to put some sticker on. You know, I wanted to add some fishes, but he didn't check what he was doing. So I'm sorry, it's very blurred. But I wanted to show you what I actually have done so you can see. And anyway, I hope you don't mind, but sometimes these things are happening. He was talking to me like blah, 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 blah. And then, this happened. But anyway, I think you can see what I've done. And now I'm taking you with me to make my top layer, because I always make sure I'm making a top layer. I have here a Polar Shimmer from Colorberry, which I added into my clear resin, but only ever so slightly, not too much, otherwise it's really taken over. You only want to have a little shimmer. And yeah, with the top coat now, you are sealing your your stickers, but you also achieve a lot more depth, and that makes those coasters even look more delicate. I really like it. So I always let my resin drip over the sides. Not everyone is doing this, but I'm doing this. I don't mind. At the bottom of my coasters, I added some PVD. I think it's PVD glue, or how do you call this, hobby glue? I put it there. I let it dry, and this is a perfect thing, you know, when you do your doming, then you can easily peel it off later. So I'm a little bit busy, just making sure everything is covered. For the top coat, I've been using the Mastercast resin. It is not as heat resistant as the Ultracast resin, but I think for top coating it's perfect. I really like using it. And here now is my end result, and you can see really the depth and the sheen. Look at the glow of the coasters, and look at the 3D effects. I'm not sure if I did the stickers a little bit too big. Actually, I don't mind, because I think sometimes it looks better when you put something bigger on there. But this is something I leave up to you, to your opinion. And yeah, with this, I love and leave you. I thank you for watching, and for all germs, I'm sorry. This time it's only English voiceover. I'm missing time at the moment. Okay, thanks for watching, and take good care of yourself. Bye bye.